New question. The member from Newmarket, Aurora.
My question is to the Premier. Speaker, yesterday we heard in the Public Accounts Committee from 4 former directors of the former Ornge board. They swore in their testimony a particular theme, and it was a theme that has run throughout the committee hearings into the Ornge scandal, and it's a theme that was confirmed by the Auditor General. And that theme is this, that the Ministry of Health failed in its oversight of Ornge. My question to the Premier is this. Given the testimony consistently that the Ministry failed in its oversight, I'd like to know from this Premier, what are the consequences in her new Ontario government for ministers and deputies and bureaucrats who don't do their job, and how many more Oranges are there throughout this government?
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. And I know the Minister of Health will want to comment on the specifics, but I just want to say this, Mr. Speaker, that we have said that there needed to be better oversight at Ornge. We have said that there needed to be a better regime of oversight, which is why we introduced legislation, Mr. Speaker, to tighten up that oversight, to make sure that the monitoring was in place, to make sure that the rules were much more explicit, Mr. Speaker. That's what the legislation is about. And my expectation, Mr. Speaker,
there are a couple of members that are maybe playing hide-and-seek with their seating arrangements, but I will still ask them to go sit in their seats so I can tell them to stop heckling. Thank you. The member from Leeds Grenville has a comment for me to make. I'm glad that the member will not stop. I'm going to try to deal with this in a calm way. I don't need his comments after I finish admonishing him. Premier.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. My hope is that the member opposite and his party will support the legislation that would actually put that increased regime of oversight in place, Mr. Speaker, because I'm assuming that underpinning his question is a concern about the general approach to oversight that government would take, and my hope is then that he will support the legislation that would change the oversight that we've admitted, Mr. Speaker, needed to be tighter.
Thank you. Supplementary.
Speaker, I've pointed out before that there's a reason that the A was dropped from the spelling of Ornge, and that's because it stands for accountability. Well, here, Speaker, is another Orange the Premier should know about. The Premier should know that the Executive Officer of the Ontario Public Drug Programs is required by law to issue an annual report detailing Ontario's public drug program. Well, Speaker, given the track record of her Minister of Health, does it surprise the Premier that there has been no report filed on that program for the last 5 years? Speaker, this is a $3.5 billion program. Ornge was $150 million. Wow. What excuse for this glaring lack of accountability will the Premier accept from her Minister of Health this time?
Thank you. Premier.
Minister of Health and Long-Term Care.
Minister of Health and Long-Term Care.
Speaker, our healthcare system is an excellent healthcare system. I think all members of this legislature would agree that Ontario is a great place when it comes to our healthcare system. I've said before, it is not perfect, but it is excellent, Speaker. We do rely on our healthcare system for oversight of boards of directors. In our hospitals, in various organizations, Speakers, we rely on those board members to do their job. What we heard in testimony yesterday from former board members is that they failed in their responsibility to provide appropriate oversight, Speaker. That's why it's very important that we move ahead with Bill 11, Speaker. Terribly disappointed the members opposite voted against Bill 11. We need to get Bill 11 passed so we can finish the job when it comes to correcting the chip at Ornge.
Here.
Speaker,
final supplementary.
Speaker, my question was about the minister's oversight. She doesn't even know that that report has been missing for 5 years. That's why our healthcare system is in the mess that it's in. I'm asking the minister one more time, where is the report? Does she even know that the report hasn't been filed for 5 years? At a time when we're dealing with chemotherapy problems in this province, the minister stood here and said she didn't know anything about it. She blames the federal government. She's going to look into it. Now she wants Bill 11. It has nothing to do with the question I asked her. And I say to the Premier this: given the lack of confidence that the people across this province are showing towards this government, will she respect this place? Will she allow the members of this House to vote on a want of confidence motion that we will be tabling early next week?
Be seated, please. Be seated, please.
Thank you. Minister of Health.
Speaker, this has been an interesting series of questions. I'm not quite sure where the member opposite is going with it, but I'll tell you, Speaker, we will be having a vote of confidence in this legislature in coming days. We have a budget that will be before this House, Speaker. It's a budget that, as we know, serves to continue to strengthen our health care system by investing more in the services that our seniors and our patients need, more in the community sector, more home care, Speaker. Those are issues that everyday people in this province are very happy to be seeing this government moving on.